new images today of the massive oil spill. It seems to have developed a tail. It's already in the loop current, perhaps on its way around the tip of Florida and up the East Coast. Meanwhile, 3 congressional committees are holding hearings on the oil spill today. A group of senators calling for a criminal investigation. And balls of tar are washing up on beaches in the Florida Keys. The lawyers are already lining up on this, what is likely to be a monster of a case. Carl Nelson is partner and maritime lawyer at Fowler, White & Boggs. Mr. Nelson's experience includes representing the defendants in what till now was the worst oil spill in Florida. Steve Yarrett is a trial attorney who won the largest liability award in the country, both in 2007 and 2009. Guys, good to see you. Carl, let me start with you. Can you give us a sense, what size, what number of cases are they going to face? Give us a sense of just how big a problem it could be for BP and whether it could sink BP.
Well, the number of lawsuits that will actually be filed and have been filed will be huge. The last count I saw was 88 have been filed, and of course there will be many more. And as it impacts something such as the Keys or Florida's coast, there will be hundreds more cases. But there is a system in place in our court system to bring those all together into one. So the actual litigation will end up probably being 1, 2, or 3 rather massive lawsuits.
And the overall cost, is it enough to actually bring down the company, however you might define that?
Well, the oil is still gushing, so nobody really knows what the extent of the ultimate damages are. But we keep our fingers crossed and everything works and it's shut off. The actual environmental impact, the economic impact, may be something that can be controlled and not necessarily be that horrific.
Mr. Yarrett, talk to me a little bit about the cap on liability that I believe was instituted in the wake of the Exxon Valdez case some years ago. I believe it's $75 million, and how attorneys will get around it.
First of all, very effective political maneuver getting this cap passed after the Valdez of $75 million. There are 2 companion bills in both the House and the Senate. I attended the hearings last week in the House Energy Committee and was able to work with Congresswoman Castor. But there are 2 bills that would raise the limit to $10 billion. That is underway. I expect that legislation to be successful. In addition, the Halliburton CEO, the CEO from BP, and I believe Transocean all concurred, excuse me, not Transocean, the 2 others conferred that they had agreed that there would be no limitation. They would not invoke the limitation. So much for that. I mean, you can take them for at their word. But let me answer your first question that was put on the program. BP made in the first quarter, and I'm talking about net profit, $6.1 billion. So far, the cleanup totality costs included about $500 million.
But they've lost 20% off of their market cap. Well, and when you compare that to what happened to Exxon and the loss on their market cap during the Valdez, it was insignificant compared to what BP has suffered.
Well, that's true. And then look what Exxon has done in terms of rehabilitation. The point being, there are some things that money cannot address. And what's happening to our world, what's happening to our environment, what's happening to all sectors of Florida's society and the other coastal states is truly catastrophic, of a magnitude we can only imagine.
Steve, I've got to applaud you, sir. You are the first trial lawyer I have ever heard say that there are some things money can't address, because that's the lawyers are coming, right? And one thing they're going to be seeking is money. Carl Nelson, you know, the CEO of BP, has been so open. He said, you know what, we didn't have enough good emergency plans in place, that kind of thing. Is that going to hurt him in the courtroom?
No, ultimately not. Their candor is going to be recognized, and interestingly, what Mr. Yarrett just said, that's not what will be said in the courtroom, I can guarantee you. But of significant interest, when Congress enacted OPA 90, the Oil Pollution Act, in 1990, they intended there not to be litigation. They designated a responsible party. That does not in any way mean at-fault party. It's simply that party that has to step in and respond in the first instance, because there has to be an immediate response. The fault will ultimately be sorted out among all the various interests in the oil rig, and you know that's something way down the road.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Yarrett. We got to get to fast money. Thank you so much. Still ahead.